What does it mean to be self-led? In IFS, we talk a lot about self, but what does it actually mean to be self-led? Being self-led doesn't mean you're calm or centered all the time. It means that even when parts of us feel anxious, angry, or hurt, there's a steady presence within that can relate to those feelings with curiosity and compassion. When self is leading, we're not trying to silence or fix our parts. Instead, we're listening, allowing them to share what they need us to know. Self doesn't control the system, it leads it with love. In practical terms, being self-led is about noticing who's driving your internal bus. Is it your perfectionist who's afraid of failure? Your caretaker who's exhausted but can't stop helping? Or your angry protector who just wants space? When you and I notice that a part has taken the wheel, we don't need to shame it or wrestle it for control. We can simply say, "Thank you for trying to help. I've got it from here." That gentle redirection allows self to return to the driver's seat. Here's the difference between self-energy and parts or self-like parts. It's easy to confuse these two. A self-like part might look calm and collected on the outside. It might even use all the right IFS language, but if you look closely, there's often a subtle tension beneath the surface, a quiet fear that something will go wrong if it doesn't stay in control. So be aware of those self-like parts, and they're not bad. No bad parts, we know that. I've learned to love my self-like parts and our parts who, when we're aware that they're younger, they can still step in and drive the bus sometimes. And they're all doing the best that they can. Let me share a personal story. I have a part that tries to appear calm when I'm trying to give a presentation or during family stress. It says, "I'm fine, you're fine." I'm leading from self. I even noticed this, even though I try not to talk about it too much, but parts that come up when I'm guiding sessions or leading coaching groups. But deep down, there's a tightness in my chest and a voice whispering, "Don't lose control." That's how I know that there's not a critical mass of self. Or sometimes when I know and I'm aware of it, it helps me reach that critical mass. That self doesn't have to prove itself or maintain an image. Self simply is. It's grounded, compassionate, and spacious, without effort. When self leads, there's a softness in the system. Parts begin to relax because they feel safe. They realize they don't have to hold it all together. And Richard Schwartz, founder of IFS, describes the 8 qualities of self. The 8 C's: calm, curiosity, clarity, compassion, confidence, courage, creativity, and connectedness. You might notice these C's in subtle ways, and they don't have to all be C's, by the way. But it's a good indicator and a good place to start. And maybe you notice them in these subtle ways. When you pause before reacting to a text that stings. When you feel genuine curiosity towards a part of you that's ashamed or afraid. Often just this awareness can be what leads to a critical mass of self or more self-leadership. Or maybe it's when you sense compassion for someone else's pain, even when your own parts are triggered. You don't need to embody all 8 of these C's at once. Often just a drop of self is enough to shift the entire system. Or it's just the drop you needed to reach that critical mass of self-leadership. Think of it like light entering a dark room. It doesn't have to flood the space to make a difference. Even the smallest glimmer of awareness changes how we see